Listen, you shouldn't have to stretch your budget to buy jeans with a little give. High-end denim can cost hundreds of dollars, but bargain brands don't offer the same level of style and comfort.
Yeah. You can't get some jeans that cost you hundreds of dollars and like have to do a juice cleanse to get into them.
Totally. So Distilled, spelled DSTLD, they've revolutionized the fashion industry with their timeless luxury grade denim. So you get jeans that would normally cost you hundreds starting at just $65.
Yeah. They eliminate these crazy markups because they refuse to work with middlemen.
Refuse. They ship directly to you for free and guarantee the fit, or they'll send you a new pair until they're perfect. Distilled jeans are built to last and will be a staple in your closet for years.
They also have a bunch of fall jackets. So if you're like into a classic denim or you want like a bomber jacket, you can just expect the same level of quality.
Okay. And so for a discount, go to dstld.com/feral and you'll get $10 off your first order.
That's
d.com/feral for $10 off. Bye. Thanks. Bye. Alie, let me ask you a question.
Yeah. Fire away, dude.
What?
Fire away, dude.
Oh. Yes or no? Finding the right hair color for you, Alie, can be a challenge.
What color is my hair right now?
Burgundy.
Yeah. Was that on purpose?
No.
Did I need to use E-Salon?
Yes, you did.
Oh, I fucked it up. Oh, wait. You can scratch that.
No, it's great. E-Salon offers professional grade. Leave that in. Completely personalized hair color that's created just for you and delivered right to your door. Alie, you fucking need this.
I need it so much. This is the last time I will color my hair without taking the steps to get the right color. I grabbed a color off the shelf. It was the wrong color. My hair is maroon now.
Don't do it. Alie, do you love questionnaires?
Yes.
Here's a hair questionnaire. Upload your photo and a personal colorist will formulate your individually blended color from over 15,000 pigments.
Oh my God.
I know.
I need E-Salon and a time machine to go back to yesterday.
Totally. Well, they've got you covered. There's 100% satisfaction guaranteed if you're not happy, Alie.
Oh God, I need
with
this.
Your color. It will give you a free reformulation or refund.
I think anything's better than what I did to myself before.
I mean, you look cute.
Thanks, dude. But you know what? I like that the color doesn't fade. Like they have the grays covered. Because I get some grays every once in a while.
I mean, at 23 years old, our gray is like pretending to start to come in.
I know. It's probably because we're such big thinkers.
We're so young.
So you can visit esalon.com/slumber party, all one word. And do that. You get 50% off your first order. So that's $10 for your personalized hair color, which is crazy because the last time I got my hair colored in a salon, it was like $180.
Dude, you can do it your freaking self. I've been doing it my freaking self for years and years.
Yeah, I really got the wrong color. So I need to use eSalon. You get 50% off your first box at esalon.com/slumber party. So go do that. Don't be an Alie Ward.
Send us photos too. Hashtag it at, I don't know, Alie in Georgia. Let's see your hair.
Yeah, just tag us in it on Instagram. Let's see your pictures.
Let's do it.
I want to look at your hair.
Bye.
Feral Audio.
Hi. Hey, it's Alie in Georgia.
This one's Alie.
This one's Georgia. And we're about to have our podcast, but we forgot to introduce our guest.
Yeah, you'll find when you listen to this, you'll be like, that was the shortest non-intro ever. And we just got so excited.
Yeah, so our guest is Tony Hale. You've seen him as Buster Bluth on Arrested Development, and he's the vice president's aide on the awesome show Veep. And he was also in our Drunk History reenactment. We're huge fans of his. Mr. Tony Hale.
Yeah, God, we're so excited. I'm sorry that we sound so excited during this. We just were so excited.
We're so excited. Have fun. Enjoy it.
I hope you enjoy it. Bye. I mean, here you go.
Slumber Party. This is Slumber Party with Alie in Georgia.
Hold on, I have a pillow on my butt.
Well,
okay. I do have a pillow on my butt. All right, good. I'm settled.
Hi,
hey.
Alie.
Is this Georgia?
No, it's Alie.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
This is Georgia. That's Alie.
Hi.
And we're gonna, Alie, what'd you learn this week?
This is a great way to start our podcast called Slumber Party. One thing we learned each week. Okay, I just learned this of like 45 seconds ago.
Okay.
You know why? Because I thought I knew what I learned this week, and then I went to fact check it, and I got more confused, so I just looked in a book called Who Knew to a random page. So crayons, the smell of crayons are one of the most familiar scents to Americans.
That's cool.
And along with coffee and peanut butter. And the smell of crayons is so familiar and so soothing that it lowers blood pressure in some people.
Ooh. So
Is
just
that
bring a
crazy?
crayon with you wherever you go when you're stressed out. Instead of Xanax, you like have a medicine capsule thing full of crayon. You just crushed crayons.
Did you ever see that Simpsons where Homer, turns out that Homer had a crayon up his nose?
Yes.
Maybe he was just trying to get comfortable. Anywho, what'd you learn?
I learned for the first time I learned what it's like to inject myself with something.
Whoa.
With a syringe. Because my friend gave
I was doing heroin.
because I shot up heroin. It's like the most expected thing, but it is that.
What'd
This
you
has
learn?
turned into an intervention.
No, you guys, you got to try it. It was great. I just injected myself with a B12 shot,
Oh.
and
God.
I did it this morning.
How do you feel? How do you feel?
I feel good, but I don't know if it's just because.
Do you feel like you have more energy than
Yeah,
Were you feeling like you're about to get sick? Is that why you wanted to do it?
yeah, and I've always wanted to do it because I'm always tired.
It was on your bucket list.
Yeah, and like I feel like injecting yourself with something is something you need to do once in your life.
How did you prep for it? Did you
really
start
is.
playing One More Fix and then like tie off?
Yeah,
an arm?
I got real like after school special dark with it.
No, how did you prep for it though?
I didn't. I woke up and I grabbed a chunk of my skin and I injected it, and then the needle didn't work. The syringe didn't work.
Okay.
You don't want to talk about this?
No, I'll talk about it. Well, can I talk?
Yeah, Tony Hale, everyone.
Hello. I'll talk about it because
That was the shortest intro we've ever had on a
'Cause,
slumber party intro.
I remember
podcast.
I had asthma as a kid, and I would have to go to the hospital, and they would give you a shot of this massive adrenaline to get your breathing again. And I remember this woman. This made me think. This she put in the needle in, and the needle broke on my bone.
Shut up.
Yeah.
How are
Yeah. And I didn't care because I was having such a hard time breathing that I was just like, but then I immediately felt better. So I didn't have that. I didn't even feel it.
You're saying some woman came in off like into your wing, and it's like, hey, like
Yeah.
it wasn't a nurse.
I'll give this a shot. Literally.
So,
How did they get it out?
It's probably not out. It's probably
You were really?
It was
You go
I
through
don't
the
think
metal
it wasn't a
detector?
large chunk, but it was like it hit the bone. But I couldn't breathe so much. I was just like, but there was a little nick off the end of it.
Shit,
No.
that's crazy.
Are you a health nut? Tony Hale?
I would say I am. I would say that I was a kid who had with asthma and stuff like that, and then I started doing herbs and kind of. I went to this place in Chinatown in New York because I lived there for 8 years, and I've had these people. This sounds really gross in LA, but they send me these Chinese herbs, and I haven't had trouble with asthma or chest
What?
infections or anything like that since.
What?
What kind of Chinese
I
herbs?
gotta know about this.
I
Cocaine.
inject myself with. It's a Chinese heroin.
This ancient heroin.
No, it's like this mixture. They send you all these teas and you put them together, and it's just all these kind of herbs that I drink in the morning, and it just kind of keeps your immune system strong.
Oh my god, I want this. I just started going to an acupuncturist again.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
And he gave me like adrenal fatigue capsules for like Chinese.
And I think you can go I think you can go overboard because if you go to
Yeah.
some people and they're like, you need this and this and this and this, it's like you got to keep it simple.
right.
How do
You
you,
can't
price
maintain
check
that.
though? How do you price check like a glass of herbs? How do you know? Am I getting a good deal? Am I buying too much of this hogwort root?
Sure. I don't know. I think it was such a dramatic difference for me in kind of because I was getting sick all the time, then I wasn't. That I was like,
worth
works.
it.
It's worth
I
it.
wonder if I should get something for allergies. Is that the like similar
Yeah.
kind of a?
And lots of water, guys. Let's turn this into
Shit.
like
You
a.
guys, you came in here. You drank 2 glasses of water, and I think that's
You did. Oh my
Wonderful.
god, you
I
down?
do love me some water.
so you're kind of healthy.
Kind of healthy, yeah.
Good
I
job.
got a massive sweet tooth, but kind of healthy.
You do.
Yeah.
I guess we could go straight to midnight snack. We could play
yeah.
a slumber.
Oh,
You didn't
sure,
tell us
yeah.
what you learned
Oh,
this
that's
week.
right. Thank you.
Yeah, what'd you learn this week?
Okay, it was a tie between two things because my daughter, I have a 9-year-old daughter, and well, she's almost 9. She'll be 9 in February, and they have a whole new way. Wait, that's what? Oh, fun age. I thought you had a kid that was 9. I was like, we need to set up a play date. But the whole way they learn now with math is completely different than how we used to learn. It's like grouping and all this kind of stuff. So I have to watch these YouTube videos to kind of figure out. But she taught me this thing, and it's hard to describe. And I meant to ask her before she went to school today, and I forgot. But it's something like if you say 9 times 6 is 54, you do something with your hands where you put your hands out. Here,
Is this
Hold
Common Core?
you put your hands out and like, so this is like the 6 thing, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's 54
Oh shit!
is the answer. So it's something I know the listeners at home cannot understand what I'm
Wait,
doing.
so are we allowed to? Because you're saying that counting on your fingers is now okay again?
It's something. But see, that's multiplication. So it's
Okay.
not necessarily like
Right.
9 plus is a word that's easy. But this is like a multiplication thing, which would involve a lot of counting. But it's like you do this thing where you just take away the thumb, and then you got a 5 and a 4, and that's the answer.
That's awesome.
What? So it's like a cheat sheet that it's born in your bones.
It is a cheat sheet born in your bones.
Are you allowed to use that on tests? I wonder. Where they're like, no calculators and no fingers,
No hands.
Just everybody's got keep your hands to yourself. I don't know. It's a
What
good
is that
question.
called though? I heard my niece was telling. Is that the Common Core thing where it's like a
Maybe.
different?
Maybe.
Someone tried to explain that to me, and I was like, "How do you do numbers differently? Because they're still numbers, but apparently you just use your fingies."
God, that makes me happy. I'm so bad at math.
You use your finger, yeah. And I wanted to teach them all because it's almost like a magic. It almost sounds like a fun trick to show, like, look at this, and that's the answer.
Ta-da!
I
Yeah.
knew it.
How is fatherhood?
Fatherhood is fantastic.
Were you scared?
Scared shitless.
Really?
Yeah, because, well, I won't say it. I had an interesting, most things like when I got married or when I had a child, my wife says that our engagement, and it's true, I was terrified the whole engagement. But once I had the commitment, I relaxed and like loved it. So a lot of my stuff came out in the engagement. And then once I had the commitment, I was like,
Here I am.
love it. And then her stuff came out post commitment. But even with a child, it was the anticipation of it that was like, oh shit. But then when you have it, you're like, I have never loved. It's like such a protective. I don't know. It's a crazy, crazy love.
Everyone says that, and you cannot understand it until you.
You
have
really
it, probably,
can't.
right?
But it's so. But
I mean,
she drives me crazy. Like she does things sometimes. I'm like, I've told you 10 times
Really?
to take your backpack. You know, it's that kind of thing. But then you just the next day, even the next hour, it's just gone, and you're just like snuggling, watching a movie or something.
That's adorable.
But I had a pet praying mantis. Georgia has cats, and we're like, I think you probably can love a human more than your pets,
Yeah.
but we're not sure.
Well, I've never been a dog person because I was a kid with asthma, so I was like, ugh. But we got Havanese recently, like last year, and it's hypoallergenic.
Right.
And man, I'm crazy about that dog. Walter is his name.
Oh, of course.
I think
he's a
every kid
cutie
needs
little-
to grow up with a pet.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you grew up with
Yeah,
cats?
cats. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
How many
think
do you
it's so
have?
Important. I have 2.
Oh, what are their names?
Elvis and Mimi. They have their own Instagram account. Don't worry about it.
I mean,
Don't you worry.
I only did that because I didn't want to bug the shit out of all my friends, being like, "Here's my cat. Here's my cat." So if you really want to see my cats, here are my cats. Or
I
whatever.
follow both.
Thank you.
I follow all 3 of your Instagram accounts.
Thank you.
I double tap that. So, okay, how long have you been out in LA?
I've been in LA since actually, because I was in New York from 95 to 2003. And then in 2002, I got engaged. We were going to get married in May of 2003. And then that's when Arrested Development, the audition for Arrested Development came around. So I auditioned for it and then booked it, which was nuts.
In LA.
And I came out to LA to shoot it. And then 10 days before we got married, the show got picked up and we moved out to LA. And then, bless my wife's heart, she was a makeup artist on SNL for 8 years.
That's so
Loved her
cool.
job and then really sacrificed a lot to move out here. But we love it now. But it took, I was ready to leave New York. She was not. So it's taken a long time, but we both love it now.
That's so cool. That's what having a partner is. You like do things for each other and stuff, right?
It is. She's pretty amazing.
I love that she's a makeup artist. That's so cool.
Yeah, how did you guys meet?
We met at church in New York.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you see her from across the thing and be like,
Who is that blonde?
"Hey."
We met at the Redeemer Presbyterian Church in Manhattan, and I was introduced to her by a friend, and she's one of those. She's got an incredibly dry humor, and I'm just such a spaz, and so. But she makes me. What did she say once that? We were at. This is not even maybe funny to you, but we were at a theme park once on a roller coaster. And the roller coaster, and she's from the South, so she's very. You guys met her the other night at that place.
she's lovely.
And she's got a really like dry Southern accent. And the roller coaster was like jerking us around all over the place. And I just heard my wife going, "Well, my lord, that is just rude."
Southern people are the best.
I mean, that is just rude.
Bless this place's heart.
I know,
It
that's
is
nice.
rude. Will you tell us
She's
your
a trip.
favorite snack? Your favorite, like, no one's looking.
My favorite snack is Wow, what's my favorite snack? Oh, okay. My favorite snack is my friend her family. She was raised Mormon, and she's not. She's not anymore, but she was raised Mormon, and she makes this thing called Mormon crack, which is those.
Is that okay?
It's no caffeine,
Probably not.
no sugar.
But it's like these, those Rolos with the caramel in them. She melts them and puts a pecan in the middle, or a pretzel on top.
It's essentially a turtle, right?
Right.
It's essentially a turtle.
Oh,
I love
It's
how
essentially a turtle.
that's easy.
But
I
like
mean-
a little more. You maybe don't feel as guilty because it's not as big as a turtle.
yeah.
Right.
Sometimes a turtle is too much. By the way, I'm really sorry if the listeners can hear this insane.
What is that?
Like a ceaseless pounding that's going on. There's something happening in the. Someone moved in next door.
Adjacent apartment. They're
And
hanging their shit.
I hope no one's trapped in a cage and they're pounding to
They're
get
like,
out.
Can you?
And
I know.
actually, and I was telling you earlier, your apartment reminds me very much of New York.
It
very
is.
New York
It's
style.
an old deco thing. It's supposed to be haunted, but
Oh, ghosts.
Hence the ghost story.
Can we go to
I
ghosts?
know. Should we bust out a ghost story? Okay, yeah.
we
Let's
should.
ask you about ghosts. We want to hear your theory about ghosts because this apartment supposed to be super haunted.
Now, how do you feel? Because that's a lot to live in if you've heard these stories. So what is your, if you don't mind me asking, your kind of foundation of that?
Well, okay. The fact that I love science so much and there's just bacteria all over you can't see, and we don't know how the brain works, and we don't know how anything works really. And like we still are like, cancer, not quite sure how to fix it. I'm like, who knows? Maybe we don't know something about energies. Maybe we don't know things about, I don't know, telepathy. Maybe there's all
But
kinds
I don't
of
think
things.
that translates to someone like hiding your keys from you
I'm just
because they died
saying,
here.
There's a lot of mischief in the world that we don't understand. I'm open to the idea
Sure. So
of
you're
mischief.
you're not the kind of person that you hear those stories and then come back and you hear a noise and you're like, oh shit. You
No,
know?
I'm terrified
You
of
are.
ghosts.
She
I'm more
totally is.
terrified of ghosts than people.
Okay.
And I've been like mugged at knife point.
God, that's awful.
And I've dated like musicians. So I should
wait.
be more afraid of people.
You've had the spectrum. Wait, where were you mugged?
On Beverly Boulevard, broad daylight, 4
Larchmont.
p.m. Larchmont.
By gun?
That was by two guys with knives.
Butcher knives.
But yeah, like
Are you
kitchen
serious?
knives. Absolutely. It was in 2002.
Took them
and
to court.
Yeah, I memorized their license plate, which
Wow.
is like,
She did the smartest thing that I think you should tell people so that they'll know to do this.
well, I was walking broad daylight. I had money in my purse and I was going to the bank, which is like, when do I have more than $2, especially in 2002? But
You were a waitress. You had cash. I know this story.
no, I wasn't even a waitress then.
Oh, okay.
I'd lent a Buster boyfriend like
Right.
$300, and he ran a nut stand.
As
One
they
of
do.
those candy nuts on the.
Yes.
Yeah, I love those places.
Yeah, he ran a
They
nut
always
stand.
smell better than they taste, though.
So amazing.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Guys, too. No, that's gross.
So I had a grip of cash for like the first time ever, and I was walking to the bank, and two guys pulled over and they got out of the car with knives, and I was like, oh, jeez. So I took my purse like a football, and I threw it as far as I could away from me because I figured that's what they were going for. They were very rude though. They called me the B word, and they wanted to get my effing wallet. I was like, just
So you
ask
threw
me.
it and ran.
Threw it
That's
in.
good for you.
smart?
So they were at a distance. You saw it coming, and you threw the purse at them.
As soon as I saw like a flash of the knife,
Absolutely.
I was like, okay,
Take it.
And I was like, this is what they want more than, they don't want to take some dumb, stupid girl in their Celica. So I tossed it, and then I looked back, and I memorized their plate, and I kept running. But I couldn't make a sound. That was the weirdest part, is I couldn't
yeah.
scream.
I heard that's the thing when you're like really terrified. You just can't get.
couldn't.
You know what it
out.
is? I bet it. You know those dreams where you're going really slow and
Yes.
you can't make a sound.
Yeah, that's what it was like, but I was running.
Okay, what's your ghost story?
I don't really have a specific ghost story. But here's I don't allow myself to listen to them because
Oh.
I get a little freaked out. But I'm not the kind of guy who someone would be like, "Hey, you want to go see Paranormal Activity?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to see it," and I'll tell you why, because that shit's real. And I have no.
That's a
and
scary freaking
and I have
movie.
no desire to sit in a room with 2 hours and just pretty much watch a documentary that I
Yeah.
can see somewhere else.
That movie is so scary because it's just implied ghosts so much.
It's implied ghost, but I'm telling you guys, don't mess with it.
Too scary.
Just
Yeah.
don't mess with
I
it.
love being scared though in a movie.
I don't know. I'm kind of probably a little bit like, how Ellen loves to. I enjoy watching people be scared.
Yeah.
There was an awful show called Scare Tactics. Do you guys remember that?
Right. Yeah. Oh, they like abducted someone, alien
it's
abduction.
It's
and
awful. And some of
Wasn't
them.
it Shannon Doherty?
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Some of them were like, all right, that's too far. But some of them were just like people just jumping out and just scaring them half to
Insane.
death.
Yeah.
That's fun to watch, but I don't want to be the recipient of that.
Just spilled tea on my face.
That's all right. Hey, it's all about grace. We're all friends.
It was like the tea bag. I got tea bagged, literally with my tea bag. But I just learned today that there are some people who don't feel any fear at all, and it happens when you have a calcified amygdala in your brain. It doesn't tell your body to be afraid, and
So they have no fight or flight?
nothing.
I wonder if that's better or worse. Probably worse.
That's a good question. And I listened to this new podcast called Invisibilia, and they say that this one woman who doesn't have that, she's been like mugged 4 times.
The ghost is
Yeah,
saying,
it's
The ghost is pounding
don't
on
piss
this
us
wall.
off.
But
I'm real.
but ultimately she's gotten into situations where it's harmful. Anyway, but
you have to have common sense. Like even if you're not scared, you'd also don't walk down the street at night by yourself.
Right?
It's a reason God's given us. I mean, there's a reason we have that.
Yeah.
And to the extreme, that's why I'm not going to sit in a room and be like, hey, I'm just going to test my fight or flight watching Paranormal Activity. But in a dangerous situation,
I'm so scared of humans that like I don't even have time for ghosts.
First of all, Saw. That whole Saw or anything
I
like
couldn't.
Guess
I
what,
couldn't do
guys?
that.
That can happen.
Yeah, that can really happen.
That can someone can put on a mask and slice you.
And then how happy you're going to be about watching that? You're going to be like, oh, I was getting entertained by this, and it's happening.
it's like, can you imagine if like your car broke down and you're like, fuck, but you had been watching 14 years
about
of
it.
cars breaking, just like just shitty things happen to you, and you just watched video of people getting stung by bees for 14 years, and you got stung by a bee, and you're like, shit.
Yeah.
I could have just not been
See,
watching
my
that.
thing is, I'm already driving down because my wife's from Alabama, so there's a lot of dirt roads with nothing around. I'm I feel much safer in New York than I do in Alabama.
do?
But it's like you're driving down. I already think those thoughts. So if I had an arsenal of 10 movies that I've watched,
well, that's why she's always telling me not to read post-apocalyptic books because I'm like, well, I know it's going to happen, but when I'm reading about it, and I'm like, now I know all the ways it could happen.
I know, but
Not
that's
good
the
for
thing
me,
is
and I can't sleep.
you can't rehearse tragedy. Like you can't pre-live it. I just
why
wanna-
live it in a movie theater? Why allow you? Or like, but my wife makes fun of me because I am that kind of personality. I have a hard time disengaging from things. So like if she loves that, Homeland and all that kind of stuff, and I'm like, it's going on.
Yeah.
This is
too
not
real.
this is not entertaining to me.
Do you think that's why you got into comedy?
Here's the deal. Like if I have no problem acting out because I can I know this is all fake, so I can do that. But watching it for some reason I have a hard time. So I don't know if that's why I got into comedy because I do like drama as well.
Would you ever do a horror movie?
Yeah, I do a horror movie.
You would? Wait, so you would, but when you act, don't you have to put yourself in a place psychologically? So wouldn't you have to put yourself in a place
but
of terror?
here's an example. I loved Lost, which was an intense show, but it's because that I just didn't think that could happen, But Paranormal Activity, that's potential.
You really think so? Like when you're home alone at night, are you a little like, what was that?
I just think there's a whole other world going on. I mean, I think there's a lot of darkness, and you got to be careful.
Time is linear.
And you're a spiritual person, so the idea of like a spirit or a being in your physical body isn't outlandish to you because that's part of your spiritual life.
Absolutely. And I
never thought
think
of that.
there is more than after this life. But like, so if I was doing a horror movie and I saw the cameras and I saw like the 50 crew or whatever, then I'm just play acting.
Okay.
But if I'm in a dark room with people just like watching a mask come at me with it, it's just not something that's going to give me a lot of joy.
So, what kind of movies do you like to go see? Do you like to go be informed?
Two of my favorite movies are Lars and the Real Girl. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that.
Oh, I
Very
did see
cute.
that.
Yeah,
And Punch Drunk Love.
yeah, it's a great movie.
And Lars and the Real Girl, I love it because it's the whole storyline is this guy who falls in love with a blow-up doll, and at first you're like, huh? But it's such a beautiful message of it. We need community. We need relationships, all this kind of stuff.
You like quirky dude movie? Like
I
when
like
a guy's a quirky dude.
quirky dude movies. And
Outlandish
Punch
dude.
Drunk Love, when he in the end,
Oh my God.
just goes against Philip Seymour Hoffman, and you could see because of what's her face, Emily Watson,
Yeah.
kind of came into his life and like one of them,
Yeah.
kind of gave him love, and he just like just went out.
Yeah.
So,
that
men
stuff.
in love, quirky men in love movies.
Yeah.
Quirky Men in Love movies.
Do you think I think that what we choose to watch kind of also informs what we want to learn about a little bit? Like maybe, Georgia, you want to learn about how to avoid tragedies because
Right.
you're, maybe you're better at crime. You like watching crime because you want to learn how not to get
Yeah.
crimed, verb. And Tony, maybe you really value like connection and love, so you want to explore more.
I think also the other angle
bullshit?
of that. No, I don't think it's bullshit at all. I think the other angle of it is have in my life struggled with anxiety, and I've struggled with a lot of fear and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm not, when I invest my time in things, I'm going to try not to put more. Not invest in more fear.
Add to it.
Not add to it.
That makes sense. I should probably do that too, huh?
Not invest in more fear.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
I have enough.
The thing about fear, and we talk about this a lot on here, just with anxiety, because we have different anxieties, and we struggle with them on a daily,
it's life,
on a daily base.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess not feeding that, and the fact that you are like keep waiting for anxiety to just one day just be like, you know what, I'm gone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take off. But you actually like have to work
Practice it.
at tamping it down.
It's really hard. It's really hard. And actually, I was talking to her. Have you heard that book, The Power of Now?
I have heard that, yeah.
I haven't read it, but my friend was telling
Yeah, I read the back.
was telling me about it. And he just said something really cool the other day about how where you are now lacks nothing. And I think a lot of our anxiety is based, and we feel like we're lacking something. And it's like where the exact moment you're in right now doesn't lack anything. And I think if you think about that, it's like, it's it's true.
Yeah.
But kind of having that kind of
is
attitude
true.
towards every moment.
I've been reading about like people who disengage with joy and prepare. I've been reading Daring Greatly, which is like my fucking favorite, and who prepare for awful things to happen. You're not going to be more prepared when they happen. You're going to be bummed that you didn't enjoy the time you had before it happened.
Yeah.
Right?
And if anything, you might be, because there's something to be said when you're surprised by stuff, you kind of get into it and just
Deal with it, yeah.
But if you brought a lot of energy of preparation, that kind of would make it worse
Yeah.
because you've had that whole arsenal of anxiety.
Totally.
Well, in the case of getting mugged, I hadn't watched any crime shows before or since. That's another reason why I don't like watching true crime. Is I was like, lived it, hated it. But like when that moment came, I didn't think these dudes are going to put me in the car. They're going to probably bury me.
Right.
They're going to. What are my
Sure,
parents?
yeah.
I was like, oh, I got to live through this. So this is what I'm going to do.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. So I guess the idea of like, preparing for that. Like I'm terrified of divorce. Like you're afraid of getting murdered. I'm terrified of picking someone, getting married, and then.
And were your parents divorced?
No, Tony, they're still together. It's been 45 years. I think that's why I'm
do you
so
think
afraid
that's
of
kind
it.
of based in kind of abandonment stuff?
I don't know. I think the idea of picking wrong, or the idea, but like I'm
Such a huge decision that
failure
you made
or
wrong.
wasted time. Like
Do you know what? I think I was talking to a friend of mine a couple weeks ago because he's not dating anybody and he wanted to be dating somebody. And there's a lot of pressure about soulmate stuff and finding that soulmate. I just think a lot of that's bullshit.
really?
I really
agree.
do. I really do. Because I think, that's a lot of pressure on being at the right place at the right time. And I think we need to give ourselves a lot more grace because it's just, I don't know. I have a really hard time with that stuff.
How did you approach your wife?
They got introduced.
Oh,
We
they got introduced.
We
you
got
ask her for a
introduced.
date?
We got introduced, but it was a process. We broke up once during the engagement, and then got back together. And actually, sorry, we broke up during dating, and then got engaged. But it was just kind of a lot of it because anytime that happens, you go, "Is this right? I don't know if this is right." Like da 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 da. But there's something about just kind of just keep on walking and engaging people into your life that can kind of see beyond your feelings and be like and anxieties and be like, here's the deal, this is what I'm seeing and this is truth, and how do you feel about this, and dialoguing about it, but then just kind of pressing through that stuff.
You've gone to a lot of therapy, you were saying, right?
Love
Therapy's the best.
therapy.
I got in a fight with my boyfriend recently, and I was like, we were arguing, and then he was like, you know what, stop for a second. You've been going to therapy since you were 12, so you know how to argue, and I haven't. That's not fair. It's like not a fair playing field. I'm like, yeah, you know what, you're right.
Yeah.
I know how to talk about my emotions so well because I've been fucking going to therapy since I was a kid.
You mean you can identify your emotions and convey them?
And does your therapist give you, because I recently, probably in the last 3 years, I've been working with this guy, and he gives a lot of good tools, which I appreciate. Like, for instance, when I found myself living in the what if, like, what if this? He always say, you know what, just say not now out loud.
Yeah.
And it breaks and it just brings you back, like, to where you are.
That's
and it's
cool.
Stuff like that. Like, he gives these cool little, or even something like these thoughts and feelings. They just come and go. And I think many times we put so much identity into those things rather than bring just awareness to them. Like, yeah, there's that crazy thought that someone's going to hit me by a car or something. It's like that stuff comes and go, but it doesn't mean
Let
anything.
go of
And you
it.
can't, you don't have to identify with it.
That makes sense. Mine gave me a really great one because I can't sleep at night, and it's like crazy thoughts of what could happen and all this stuff going on in my head and what I need to do and what I didn't do. And she's like, write that all down before you go to bed and tell yourself when you're in bed, when that starts happening, that you can deal with it tomorrow. It's written down. You're not going to lose it or forget it. It's still there, but you don't need to deal with it.
And there's power to the written word. Like there's power to kind of putting that down.
She always wants, but then I feel guilty. Then my guilt comes out that I don't do my homework.
Yeah, and my therapist would be like, this is such an Alie conversation talking about a therapist, but there's something about him going, okay, this is what guilt feels like. This is just a feeling. It comes and goes. That doesn't mean I'm a guilty person. That doesn't mean even saying like he would even be against saying I'm anxious. It's like, you know what, I'm feeling anxiety.
Right.
Doesn't mean I'm an anxious person. It's just like, yeah, those things come and go.
Oh, that's a good way to separate yourself from your own feelings. Yeah, I think identity is like can weigh so heavy when you think I'm the anxious person or I'm the workaholic person.
I'm the depressed person.
Yeah, I'm the friend that's going through this. You become that, and it's like a weird turtle shell where you're just like you just sort of
and
like
you give yourself permission to do that.
Yeah, because you think that's what I am.
Right.
That's what I am.
It's just not true.
Isn't it weird though? No, go ahead.
No.
I was just going to say it's weird that you can live in such a vacuum where you're like, I'm the only one that has any of this.
Of course, yeah.
And it's just it's funny just how everyone feels like they're maybe.
Actually, knowing that has made me less intimidated and scared of people, like socially, when I'm just like, we're all like doing something on our own that's screwing us up.
Oh, totally. And by the way, we're spinning on a planet really fast.
Yeah, I know.
You know, it's like just kind of taking a step aside and kind of looking at the big picture and going, wow, I'm putting a lot of value in this certain thing. And it's like, we're spinning on a planet really fast
short in
the middle of the universe.
Yeah.
I know.
You know?
Yeah.
And not to put shame on it, but just be like, let me just bring awareness to that a little bit, you know?
Yeah. My therapist has been telling me to treat myself like me as a kid.
Oh my God.
Does yours do that?
I think, yes. It's the whole thing. That's a really good, sorry, I'll let you finish.
No, that's it.
Because he would say if we were beating ourselves up about something, if I thought like, oh, I didn't do that right, or I'm not enough, or I'm whatever. If my daughter, her name is Loy, if she came up to me and said, Dad, I'm not enough, I'd be like, oh my God, you are more than enough. But we don't talk to ourselves that way.
Totally. That's exactly. I think having a kid it would be easier to do that even because she's been saying with my nephew, like, think if your nephew brought you a painting and it was ridiculous. Would you say to him, like, that's terrible, you did a bad job? Like, no, I'd praise him for it.
Exactly.
I would approach it just like a Reddit commenter and I would just rip it apart. I'd be like, why are you even painting? Like, why do you bother?
Yeah,
don't pick up
and then
the brush.
I would find the coolest painting in his preschool and be like, look at what Becky did.
Yeah.
Look at what Kayla did.
So you're on birth control, Alie, or what?
No, I'm just kidding. No,
and you're never capable of that.
No, I'm kidding. But yeah, that's it is funny how there's this idea that like in order to be better, we have to be like weird drill sergeants with ourselves, which actually makes you kind of like a worse in every way, you know, just this like I gotta be perfect.
Yeah.
Which actually, speaking of perfect, that reminds me, slumber party game.
Yeah.
Should we do perfect day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
perfect day.
Yeah.
Start to finish. You can be anywhere. You can eat anything. You can be with anyone. Teleportation is possible. What kind
Where
of?
would you wake up?
Other than in a pillow fort with sweats and us.
Clearly.
I would. Okay. I'm a guy. I love routine. I love kind of. I don't think like shaking it up, but I love waking up, taking my daughter to school. I love just kind of that whole making breakfast, taking her to school. And then I go to this coffee shop called Coffee by the Books in Pasadena. And then there's a library that I kind of do some work. And then I'd come home, see my wife. We'd probably go out to lunch or something.
Where do you go? What's your favorite lunch?
I'm a fan of the Alcove or Mustard Seed or right around the corner here.
Little stroll in the block.
But again, I'm not afraid of a good food court. I also
food courts are the best.
I also really like a good mall.
You can get a corn dog and a burrito in the same place.
Totally.
And also a sample of orange chicken.
Oh yeah,
because I like options.
Yeah.
I like options. So we might hit the mall and then just kind of walk around. And then I'm also like if we go on vacation or something. People who plan a lot of activities, which is great. I don't mind doing that. But my favorite thing, like I like just sitting with good friends, having wine, and just talking stories and laughing. Like that is, I don't have to be anywhere. Just like that.
Can there be a bonfire happening at the same time?
Sure, but the smoke does trigger my asthma.
Okay, there's a gas fireplace.
Great, I'm in.
Oh.
Did you have that childhood where you wake up and you get made breakfast and then they take you to school and like do you want it because you love do you want that for your daughter because of that or
Yeah, yeah. I did have that. I don't have the best memory. I did have that. I think I just maybe because there's so much in this business that we're in. There's so much just chaos and kind of things. You never really. There's not a lot of certainty. There's a lot of. I mean, there's not a lot of certainty in life in general, but there's a lot of uncertainty. And so when I can be in a place that's familiar and I can get a routine going and have structure, I thrive in that.
Yeah, that's nice.
I just realized, did we let him tell his ghost story?
I went to this great theater group called Young Actors Theater when I was a kid, which really sparked my interest in acting. And it was an after-school kind of theater program. And there was this pink building, and then they had this massive theater next door, and there was always this ghost baby theory that a baby.
Ghost babies are the worst.
And
I just imagined it like punching
Like
your
Casper.
ankles, like so dumb.
But it was this little girl who supposedly died in the space years ago. And I don't know if this is just a bunch of theater kids making this up and stuff. But they said it happened in the bathroom in the back. And so every time I went to the bathroom, that bathroom, I was like, ghost baby's going to come out. It's either going to come out the toilet or jump out the shower.
Ghost baby in the
Toilet baby's the worst kind.
What a bad hand you've been dealt.
So that's the story I remember.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it when it happened, but I also think it was just my imagination.
Well,
like I don't. You want it to be true so bad.
I just think it's funny that the person that believes in the ghosts the least has been like, I've seen some. Like I think it's great. I hope I never see one. It's good that the person who's the least afraid of them has seen the most of them, and the people who are the most afraid have been untouched by specters.
But I will say, like, there's what I also hear is these. Have you heard of like angel stories?
Oh,
like,
no.
Where these kind of, if you just kind of go online and they've happened to my friends a lot, where they'll be, in a car wreck or something, and somebody will come up out of nowhere and say, "Hey, can I help you?"
Oh, I want to know this.
And then they get the car and they're like, "Oh, thank you so much." There was nobody around, or like my friend was born without an ear. I remember him telling me this. This is crazy, and you're not. Anyways,
no, I already have the chills.
Okay, was born without an ear, and his mother. They didn't have a lot of money, and they knew that there was going to be involved a lot of reconstructive surgery and all this kind of stuff, and I think they were even missionaries or something, but they had 2 other kids. And they said this nurse came in holding Freddie and handed the baby to his mom. And the nurse did not have any like hands or something like that. And the mother, it was such a beautiful message of like, you know what? God's going to provide. Who cares? It's like it works out somehow. And so later she went up and she says, I just want to tell this nurse this story. And they said, we don't know what you're talking about. There's never been a nurse here without hands.
Okay, this is such a like more positive thing than ghost stories, angel stories.
But that stuff, if you go online, that stuff is all over the place.
Oh my God, I love it. I'm into that. I'm into like weird messages like that don't even have to be from like it's from God, but like just weird, coincidental things that
totally. But it's also like you're kind of being taken care of. There's something like whatever someone's belief is spirit, but there's something that it does work out in his life. Like things were worked out, and they believe God was with them. All that kind of stuff is.
They could have just worked so hard to get it done, and it wouldn't have made a difference.
And also, what people see as ghosts might be something else.
Totally, that makes sense.
I like helper ghosts.
I like angels better.
You like Casper?
Yeah, helper ghost who's like, "Do you want to cut in line in front of me?" And you're like, "I am running late."
Dead baby toilet ghost versus angel ghost is like.
Or there's like stories of, I don't know who told me this, but like kids when they were kids, like. They remember falling into a pool, and there was this. Someone grabbed them, and they were and there's just the mother was nobody around. They didn't know how it happened. Of course, you could argue, like, why doesn't it happen all the time? And you don't know. You don't know why. But then there are those.
I love stories of I should have been dead and I'm fine stories.
Let's do book club. What are you reading? Are you reading anything that you like?
What am I reading?
These scripts. Is it? Well, you don't have to worry about pilot season clearly, but do you have to? Because you're.
Well, I mean, when
very, very busy. But do you have to read things all the time for work?
Oh yeah, like I'm reading a script right now that's possibility, and just kind of see. I'm actually reading. We just started the first Harry Potter with my daughter. So that's.
I was gonna mention because there's a ghost in a toilet in Harry Potter in the second one.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What if you thought that that's where I came up with that story just to say something during the podcast?
He's cool and everything, but he totally made up this story about a dead baby.
From Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, that's so fun to read.
Yeah.
Reading to my, that's one of the reasons I want to have kids is to read to a kid.
Which is honestly that's a really fantastic trait to have because I'm not a big reader.
Oh yeah.
I'm the guy that I'll stay in one book. I'll stay in one book for months and get it, and then I just get tired, or I just kind of I like my little bit of information, and then just kind of but to really stick with something, and I stuck with those Harry Potter books. I stuck with them, so I think that I can stick with this with her.
Yeah,
and I want her to love it.
Loves it.
I feel like though, if you really want to read to someone and you don't have kids yet, you could always go on like chat roulette, or you could just go on like
it's like hey kids
with a weirdo. What if you just Skyped some guy in Germany and you just read?
Let me read to you. I don't always have.
Have you actually heard of these? Oh man, these YouTube videos I heard about where people have this kind of voice.
ASMR.
Maybe?
What is it?
And they just read or they just talk to the camera and people listen to them because their voice is very, very soothing. Is this what I'm talking about?
It's a thing. I think it's called ASMR, and it's I might be getting those the letters mixed up, but it's also called a braingasm. But it's like certain people will hear noises and it'll give them this all over body tingling sensation.
I'm getting goosebumps thinking about that.
And so you go onto YouTube and there are videos and they use special mics that really pick it up, and it's just like, I am going to go ahead and take your order.
Oh my God.
And people go like,
that reminds me of there's like 7-Eleven would play this music outside. And it had this frequency that only teenagers can hear.
You're
like
kidding.
you lose it at like 20 because you lose this hearing. And they would play this music and it had that frequency that annoyed teenagers so much that they wouldn't hang out front of their. Is that real?
That's just the opposite of Cinnabon pumping out the smell to get him to come.
Exactly. I might have made that up, but I think it's true.
well, I wonder if
there's definitely a frequency that we lose.
Yeah, I'm sure that it's like, I would guess it would be the higher ones or something.
Right.
But women can hear more treble than men in general. So there's differences and I don't know if it's smaller ear canals growing up and developing. I have no idea what
Well, the whole
the
intuition
cochlear
thing,
things.
I think, is very. I mean, that stuff is wild to
Do
me.
you?
There's just kind of a whim, like friends that just have that intuition where it's like, it didn't even cross my mind. They're like, something's up, and then it turns out that something's up.
Really?
I believe that too. I mean, I think men probably have it too, and it's not just for women, but
Yeah.
the women I know who do those things, it's like, and you have to follow it and go with it.
Can I bring it down?
Yeah.
I think it's because women probably have evolved to be like, hey, don't kill me. You know what I mean?
have
Or it
to
could
be like
just be
that?
I mean, for me, because I have a little bit of that, but I'm like, maybe it's just codependency. Maybe I'm just feeling
Well,
something.
they say
that's
that when
not-
you're in a relationship, like a long relationship, that you take what you're good at, and she doesn't need to do those things inherent, like in her brain, she doesn't, and she takes you take what she's good at, and you don't really have to like practice those things or
makes sense, yeah.
strengthen those muscles because your partner takes care of them, and that's part of the reason that when you break up, you're so depressed is that you've lost all these memories and all of these.
That's also another
abilities.
reason when you haven't seen each other for a while, there's a transition period that can be difficult. Like if I'm traveling a lot, there's a transition period coming back to the family because that part of you has not been taken up. Well, anyways, there can be a lot of unrealistic expectations put on the other person.
I felt that makes sense.
And it's that sense of like, okay, now you got to take that up, or like you got to get going, and we do that to each other, and then we get pissed when the expectations aren't met.
Oh my God, I totally do that.
Yeah.
How do you soldier through that? Do you have to remind yourself every time, like re-entry, almost like an astronaut, like a decompression?
Yeah, I think you definitely. Yeah, and it's something that you're both aware. Like, all right, this is going to be a heightened time where we have to really be careful of our words and how we're treating each other, and just kind of give each other grace and all that stuff. And it's tough, but you just kind of keep walking through it, and then you always get back into a routine.
My expectations when I come home from a trip or see my person after a while are fucking high. And
Sure.
I doubt, yeah. Like I want to go to dinner and we have the most amazing dinner and talk about what happened when we were gone. But that's like unrealistic, I think. Right?
Well, I just was in a long distance relationship for a while, and it was tough to get to only have that as your experience, because every time was like a third date.
Can we talk about what your dad does for a living?
Yeah, I know.
Sure.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, the nuclear physics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we read your Wikipedia page.
He love that. He was in the Army, and I was born in West Point, New York, because he went to West Point.
Wow.
And he not only went to West Point, and afterwards he taught nuclear physics
So he's
at West
real
Point.
stupid, probably.
He's super stupid.
Oh, what a
And he
dummy.
birthed an actor. But his father, my grandfather, was an opera singer, so he had a real appreciation for the arts. So he had, which was a gift because, obviously there's a lot of situations with parents that you don't get the support. So he's always been very supportive. And so he taught, and then he retired, and then we traveled to, we lived in Germany a little bit and all this kind of stuff. And then when I was in the 7th grade, we moved to Tallahassee, Florida. He retired from the Army, and he started working for the state with Information Resource Commission, kind of getting into the Y2K, kind of how the computers were going to transfer over.
Yikes.
And then he went to work at a school, and he's really an incredibly smart guy.
That's crazy.
And then what does your mom do?
She was working for the state, but she raised us, and
I already knew that, but I didn't want to seem creepy. Being like, so your mom worked for the state, right?
How many siblings do you have?
I got a brother and a sister. My sister is a social worker in Raleigh, North Carolina. She teaches social work now. And my brother is a lawyer in Atlanta.
Are you the youngest?
And I'm the youngest. I'm the baby.
Why we're all the
all three
youngest?
the
I feel like the
Are we?
weird, crazy.
Yeah.
Like my brother does a normal job, and my sister does kind of a normal job, and then I'm the weird one, and then I'm getting drunk on camera. I feel like the littlest kid is always like, I got to be the entertainment because I have no attention otherwise.
Yeah.
Actually, I am curious about, because our connection to you is that you reenacted our drunk history
Yes,
episode.
yes,
when we
yes.
found out that you were doing it, we lost our
it.
fucking
Lost
minds. We lost our minds. But what was the process of reenacting drunk history, like on your end?
Oh,
Did you have to listen to
Memorize?
tapes?
Well, that was my first time doing it, and so I didn't know what I was getting into, but I just loved. It was just kind of playtime because it's already set. You're just mouthing words, and so you're kind of just doing this kind of clown work where you're kind of like, just however you're saying it, and then you. And then you would apologize on camera and say, sorry, I don't feel so. I like kind of doing that physically, in this in Lewis and Clark days. And we were talking about this earlier, but I'm fascinated because you're pretty drunk during that thing. They want you to be. And the fact that you can recall all that information and even say stuff like mercury on your genitals, that just wouldn't naturally come out of, that's a really funny thing to say. In addition to kind of coming up with stuff,
Well, I think that's why it was fun to do to have two people being drunk together that are friends. Because we were talking to each other the way we always talk to each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then they did say that they're never doing a duo again because it was so hard to edit. And so hard to
Yeah, which is why I was curious if you just have to listen to tapes over and over again.
And I've done I've done 2 music videos, but it's always, you always feel cool, like rock stars are always like, all right, playback, and the music's going. It's like, let's dance, and it's like this cool music video. It kind of feels like a music video, like they play back your voices, and then everybody goes in action. They just keep playing it back.
That's really weird for me to think about our voices playing over all of those scenes.
Totally.
That's really weird.
Totally.
I'm
And
glad I
Taron
didn't-
Killian, who's so freaking funny,
He's so
loved him.
cool.
was in
Yeah.
it, and that was
Aubrey Plaza.
Aubrey
Oh my God.
Kumail was in it. Yeah, we were like,
It was
Do
incredible.
you guys know Aubrey or Kamel?
we know Kumail, but we don't know Aubrey. I think I've seen
We've
her around the
met her,
neighborhood, and
yeah.
I have accidentally stared at her. But
Kamel is the coolest guy.
Yeah, we
Kumail's
love
great.
him.
We want to get him on our podcast. He does the X-Files podcast for Feral Audio, also on this network.
Oh,
He
and
talks
what is the
about
X-Files about? Oh, he just talks about the X-Files.
You guys watch an episode together and then you talk about it.
But do you have to have a history of watching the X-Files when you watch it?
No, I think you just watch that one episode that you're going to talk about.
Got
Yeah,
it.
he's had like Gillian Anderson
Yeah.
on it. Did I say, is it Gillian or
Gillian, I think.
She's about to come on. Oh, was I not supposed to announce that? Okay.
We were on a podcast where, oh no, what was I going to say? Oh God,
What? Which podcast?
not the Saved by the
X-Files,
Bell. Yeah.
Gillian.
Oh, Saved by the Bell.
Oh
Go Bayside.
no, okay, I know what we're going to say. We were on a podcast, the James Bonding podcast,
Oh,
because we had never seen an episode of James Bond, or an episode. Is it a TV show? No, it's a movie.
close enough.
Where we had to watch for the first time James Bond and talk about it. And have you watched it?
I think I've seen one of them.
It's insane.
I think I've seen the most recent ones.
Okay.
I didn't see
Some
them.
dudes love the James Bond.
They hated us because we didn't like it.
Yeah, we
Which
saw
one
this-
were you talking about?
We saw Goldfinger,
Mm-hmm.
and we walked into the room like, what was this bag of garbage that I put into my eyes, and how can I get it out? And then all the James Bond fans were like,
You guys
can
should
kill yourself.
die.
Exactly.
They were like Redditors.
Here's a gun.
Yeah.
I have a question. What are your guys' 2 favorite movies each?
Oh my gosh.
And that's a hard one, but what do you immediately think of 2 of them?
First one is, let's say it at the same time.
Wait, no, hold on. Okay, we're
No,
first-
separate, because it
okay.
might be different.
It is different, I bet.
Okay,
my
go.
first one I can think of is, like, the first thing that comes to my head is Spaceballs.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, that is a good one. That really shows your love from an early age comedy. Seriously, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Because I'm like Punch Drunk Love, where the guy like gets love, and he's
If I really thought about it, though, it would be
it's like so intense. You're like,
no, I like shit
Spaceballs.
jokes.
I love it.
I think this isn't this. I hope this isn't a reflection of gloominess, but Better Off Dead was like my favorite ever.
Oh, that's such
That
a good.
is so
these are
gloomy.
things that I need to remember. Those are great ones.
Yeah.
So good. She fixes a car.
I'm never that person that's like has seen everything, maybe two, and it's just not
Do you
good.
keep
but
up with TV a lot? I mean, when you're working so much.
I keep up with reality television. No, I love. We're really into Top Chef. Master Chef Junior.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
What those kids,
sweet. Yeah,
like
I know.
8 and 9 year olds can make is shocking to me.
And they're so nice to each other and supportive.
They're so encouraging.
Yeah, everyone should learn a
I
fucking
know.
lesson from that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Also, I just think in general, like reality shows that are competition based, like Kids and the British are like so nice to each other, and Americans are like, "I'm gonna eat your throat for lunch." It's like so.
Should we do?
Oh,
should we do fuck that?
I was gonna ask him who his internet crush was.
Oh yeah.
Do you have an internet crush on anyone that
Doesn't
you
have to be like-
follow?
I don't have an internet crush. I think I have a crush on the internet though.
Oh.
Because because I don't really follow a certain personality, but like the internet man, I love it because when I'm traveling, I watch so much YouTube. My favorite thing is to watch bloopers. I love bloopers. And I watch soldiers coming home and bawl my eyes out.
Like, shit. What about soldiers coming home to their dogs? Oh,
Forget it.
God,
I watch that, and then I watch like Funny or Die, or I like really watching music videos just to kind of see what they do. I mean, I'm crazy about YouTube. Or like interviews. I like watching interviews of people. Just kind of see what they're like those round tables and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I just spend hours. Oh, another one. Inspirational X Factor auditions.
Oh, I can't.
I must have watched like 3 or 4 hours of that one night because just seeing these people get up in front of hundreds of thousands of people and sing, and you can see there's not a pin. You can hear, and they're just so excited, but you see that rush of energy coming at them, and they're just like, and they have this amazing voice, and it's so inspiring.
I can watch those when I know they're going to be good. Like when they say,
That's
"You
what-
won't believe what happens next."
Or
And
The
it's-
Voice. I've seen. There's like
yeah.
a compilation of like the 10 best voice auditions because they can only hear their voice, and you see them rush of like, who's the voice, and then they turn around, and the family's freaking out behind.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I love that stuff.
Have you guys? If you watched the Susan Boyle, I
Yes,
Dream to Dream,
1,000 times.
I've watched that on repeat and just weeping.
1,000.
So
And you know what I
happy.
love is I love how much of an ass that Simon dude can be.
worst.
Just an ass. He's like, oh, yeah, here, could what's this? Blah, 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 blah. And then she opens her mouth, and you just see him just like slapped across the face.
Yeah.
There's something that's just that like makes your whole guts tingle.
When
You're
it's
just
a little kid too, I'm like, oh, you get it, girl.
I know those are all good suggestions to go. But let's do. You want to do fuck that?
Yeah. So we always end the show with the.
Oh, wow, we're almost over?
You can keep going.
That was so fun.
How long? I mean, we have a whole stack of index cards. We could ask you. It was
Fuck that takes a while usually because we like comment on each other's fuck
Wait,
that.
what's fuck that?
Fuck that is how we ended. It's one thing you love so much. You're like, I don't want to fuck that. Sorry, this is so
sorry.
vulgar.
It's vulgar.
And one thing you're like, fuck that, I hate it.
Okay.
Okay, so we start with fuck that, I hate it, so we can end the podcast on a positive.
On a positive note.
Okay.
What do you hate?
Something that you and it could be anything.
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 Bees. Sexism.
Let me try to think. When I think of something that I hate, there's not nothing. However, this past week I started working with International Justice Mission. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that, but they send advocates and lawyers over to people who can't. What am I looking for? Like advocate for themselves or
Dance.
sponsor. Like someone is in a lot of trouble, but they don't have a lawyer and represent them.
In America or in
No, like
in
a
the
lot
US?
of overseas, but
Oh,
it
cool.
deals with a lot with human trafficking. So like, young girls and boys who are in this awful human trafficking, and they send them over to advocate
That's
for these
incredible.
people. But hearing these stories, it's just like I hate human trafficking. Is so evil and so just inhumane and just it is so dark. And that's where I go, man, there is a dark force in this world, and it's just I hate it. I absolutely fucking hate it.
It's a good hate.
That's a really human trafficking and the evils of man is a very good.
Mine
hate.
is cold butter, so I don't know how I can. Like,
No,
I
but
don't
I
know
got
how
too
I'm
intense.
gonna go.
That is, but I was trying to think of something like
No,
I
but that's
really
amazing.
hate.
That's
Sorry.
great. That's
Okay.
actually really good.
I
and
just read about there's a reality show that's like from New Zealand or something where they sent like 3 fashion bloggers to Thailand to work in sweatshops.
yeah, I read that.
Yeah, it's depressing.
But is there
I think I saw that on Facebook actually.
is there a story for someone who's like, I want to be more informed about that? Is there a story or a source that you would recommend people?
Yeah,
look up?
I would say go this international justice mission, because my whole thing is you hear these stories and you're just in a state of paralysis. Sometimes you're just like, I don't know what to do. But there's something about supporting and even whatever you can do to support this that are then sending qualified advocates out to these people to help. There's a lot. I mean, they would not be able to do it without kind of our support. So I would just kind of go to that website and just kind of see what they're about.
And you try, I'm always scared that because Alie, you've told me that you worked at a nonprofit where they just took the money. So I'm always scared to like.
Sure, yeah.
I'm not saying they are, but like to find one that I believe in.
And I think that honestly, I think that has a lot to do with a reputation, the seeing kind of the fruits of what they've done, but also kind of word of mouth.
Yeah.
Because I'm the same way. I'm like, I don't know. But these, you really kind of research, like, it's almost like trying to find a Yelp for nonprofits, and all these people, you just see the quality and the kind of word of mouth and the reputation and stuff like that.
Okay,
That's great. That's an issue that I don't feel like I know enough about.
Right.
I know it's like this
What's
horrible
crazy is,
cauldron
but
of
it's
awful.
also defined so much as overseas, like Thailand. But the States, man, it is awful in the States. Human trafficking is absolutely atrocious.
See, this is not a thing that enters our kind of our purview, if you will.
Sure.
So that's a really, really, really good hate. That's probably one of the best hates we've
I
ever
know.
had.
How do I
Guys,
follow that
you're
up?
welcome.
Well,
What's your hate, Alie? Because I can't do cold butter now.
By the way, couldn't it? Yes, you can, but because because we need that. Wait, so cold butter? Why do you say cold butter?
You know when you sit down at a nice restaurant, they give you bread and then they give you butter,
And it doesn't spread.
and it's like. It's the foil wrapped ones, and they're just so
Hard.
right. Alie is laughing in her shirt at me.
I have my head in my shirt.
How?
Like,
and I also hate human trafficking. But secondly, I hate human trafficking.
because it's so.
I had two.
But it's just
It's
interesting.
true though, because I
But both
can see that really irritates me, because I'm thinking I got a lovely piece of bread right here, and I'm putting that butter, and all it does is dig a hole in the bread.
being so nice
and only
to me right
that
now.
only that section of the bread is going to get butter, because I can't
Rips the
spread
bread.
it. Thank you.
I'm
yeah.
sorry, but you're being so nice because
No,
it's true.
but I'm laughing because it's just interesting. It's interesting that we are a big collection of of cells and molecules, and we can do different things, and we can occupy our brain with different things. We could feel. I think it's kind of beautiful that we as organisms can feel passionately about anything.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Yeah,
a gift
totally.
in and of
that
itself.
is true.
And also, by the way, a miracle. Like that. I mean, I'm not
it's
gonna
a little
get
crazy.
on the
Doesn't make
Bible
any
bus.
sense.
I'm not gonna freak you out. But it's
fine.
like that is a mirror. I mean, it's a mirror. You look, and having a child, you look at a child being born, or the fact that we can rationalize and we can have what
It's
And
in the middle
process
of a universe.
everything
Like
that's
what?
beautiful, yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy that we can remember things. It's crazy how eyes work.
Crazy.
But it's also like I think feeling passionate about anything is what
Yeah.
living
Well,
is.
I'm aware of how lucky I am that I get to hate cold butter. Like that's.
But it's also a funny thing to hate,
Right.
And you knew when you wrote it down.
But here's
like,
the deal. When you said that, I've never vocalized that, and I've thought, you know what? I can't stand that either.
Well, last week was
but I
omelets.
appreciate a restaurant that gives you soft
Thank
butter,
you.
or they give you maple butter.
Oh shit!
shut
As
up.
someone who's been a waitress before and took the butter out as like on my shift when it started to be like, I'm not giving anyone cold butter. Like, just do that.
You are
So
making the
easy.
world a
Do
better
it.
place. You are.
You really are.
Mine's
One step at a
gross.
What's yours?
Oh, this is so embarrassing.
No,
it's not.
But I'm
Speak
just
it.
going to say it. I wrote it down and I was like, don't say that, Alie, which made me think I should say it. Especially in the winter, but also all the time for me. This is so gross. When you peel off pants, like a
Sure.
stretch denim, let's say you wear stretch denim, and your skin.
Let's just say how unattractive that would be on Tony.
Wait, can we talk about babies
coughing.
wearing stretch denim now? Have you guys seen babies in like tight stretch denim? It's the worst.
First of
No
all-
bueno.
Go on.
No bueno. I saw a onesie that had printed on it, does this diaper make my butt look big? And I got livid, because I was like, why are you
Way to
sexualizing
instill that in your
human
child.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? I got so mad. But okay, so you peel off like stretch denim,
Yeah.
dark denim, and you just see scales of skin come off with it. Does that happen to you?
I don't wear those.
Well,
Wait,
you
so
also
you're saying because
moisturize.
your skin gets so dry?
My skin gets so dry. It's
like
that
white
it's just
dandruff.
like disgusting, and it just makes me. I went to a Korean spa a couple weeks ago, and they scrubbed
Oh, it's one of the best.
like an inch and a half deep into my skin of just dead
You ever
stuff.
got not done? It's
Are you you like massages?
I had a hard time
See,
liking
I'm not
massages.
a fan of them because I feel sick during them because of all the toxins, and it hurts.
yes. That's what
It
I like
hurts.
about it.
But the only thing I can relate to what you're saying is because I don't wear a stretch denim, even though I might be inspired to after this conversation, is when you're really sweaty and you have to take off your shirt. And you take it over your head, and it's just there's like you're having to peel off patches because you can't get it in one
You know
swoop.
what? Try doing it with a bra, and you're like, you've got like sweat. You have sweat cups on your body.
It's
basically.
really
My
nasty.
It's
God,
so
just,
gross.
Just puddles of
I
water.
slept in my bra the other night, and
Why
I
would
was
you do
like,
that?
"Fuck that!" Because I got home from the airport. This is another thing when you guys are like, when you're home and it's so nice to see your person.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Sorry.
I live alone and I'm not seeing anyone right now. So when I get home from a trip and I travel a lot for work, I get home to a dark, empty apartment with no pets and no one there who gives a shit.
Oh my god! I'm gonna be home.
That's
I'm
not
gonna
true.
be here.
You have a
next
lot of people
time.
giving a shit that care
I mean,
for
it's
you.
true, but
I'm gonna scare you
Just
next time you
FYI.
get home. We walk in the
No,
door. Just
that's
A,
the
be there,
worst.
and
In
B,
this
scare the
TP.
shit out of you.
But there's nothing more like
That's hard.
Like, oh, what keys in the door, and then, and why do I
Sure.
work so much? Because I want to have a good future, and I want to be worthwhile, and I want to be worth the person worth love, and all this stuff. And I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah.
And then you peel your pants off, and half of your skin comes off.
Yeah, that's why nobody likes me. But I fell asleep in my bra because I was jet lagged.
Okay, that's fair.
Wait, so now where do you travel to?
Well, we work on Unique Sweets, which is a dessert show all around the country. We wrapped in September, but I've been shooting Innovation Nation, which is a science show for CBS. And
Saturday mornings for kids. Everyone watch that.
watch it, it's fun. But I travel all over the country, so
And so Unique Sweets. Not that we have to plug this for you, but what is? I know it's obnoxious. What is Unique Sweets?
Well, if you're a sweet tooth, you would love it.
I do,
Right.
and do I need to put it on my DVR? Because
Yes.
can I watch it with my daughter?
yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is it on the Food Channel?
Cooking channel.
Cooking channel.
Do you have cooking channel?
Probably.
probably do.
Yeah.
You probably-
It's actually a really fun show. We're like just talking heads on it. This chick Irene Wong, who's an incredible producer, makes it. We travel the country and eat sweets, like not
Oh,
on camera, and then we fly to
come
New York
on.
and talk about it.
I know.
So
But,
you
yeah.
you guys are the ones who talk about it.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
the talking
a couple
heads
of
on
us.
it.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
It's fun.
totally doing that.
and they let us be, ourselves.
They let us do weird, but we
Can
go.
you
it's
ever
like
have
the
a
best
guest star
desserts.
or a guest
Oh, they
person
would
that
love
can
you on
like
it.
eat sweets with you? Because that is immediate joy for me.
Yeah. We go
imagine?
to a city and we have 6 bakeries to go to, and each bakery we have like
You-
8 things
Yeah.
to try.
It's amazing how that makes it immediately gives me goosebumps.
You do
Like,
oh my God. You know you could go to a bakery right now and buy whatever you
yeah,
want.
but
and
there's
eat it.
something about being with friends, just trying stuff and talking about it and being like, "This is crazy."
Next time we have to do it in LA, you can come with us. I
Yeah.
mean, we went to 4
Absolutely.
places. We went to in LA. We went to Pot and Cafe.
Squirrel.
Okay.
Have you been to Squirrel?
I haven't been
SQ.
to- you know, you should do it in Baltimore. When
Oh, we've never been
Oh,
to
we've never
Bar-
been to
Yeah.
Baltimore.
because they've got great sweets.
We hope next season.
Oh,
we'll
that's
go.
immediate joy.
Oh, and in
That's great.
Pasadena, if you go to Pasadena, there's a place called Flower and Tea. FLOU.
Yeah, I've been there.
You've been there. We did
did
They've
that.
got a lot of sweets.
They're good. That's good.
Now,
place.
did you go past the whole cupcake thing, or is it just kind of sweets like candy sweets, or is it baked goods?
It's everything.
Oh,
Anything that can give you
yes.
diabetes.
Yes.
And it's like puddings. It's like
Come
and
to
it's-
Daddy.
It's
Yeah,
so
bread puddings
crazy.
and like cake and
Eclairs.
donuts.
Eating
It's
them.
like,
Eclairs.
that's just
Really
like
good
a,
eclairs in
that's
San
just like a
Francisco.
nonstop Willy Wonka.
It is nonstop Willy Wonka.
Yeah,
It's
if you go to San
insane.
Francisco, Craftsman and Wolves is like one of the best bakeries I've ever been
so
to.
good.
It's amazing how much joy that gives me just hearing about it.
Yeah.
Something's
in
not normal
Seattle,
about that.
Crumble
that.
and Flake is still haunts
Crumble
me.
and Flake.
We
Oh,
ate
it's
these
so good.
cream puffs, and I think about them.
Are they light?
They're really light, and they fill them for
See?
you right there before you have
And so
them.
when you talk about them, do you say what do you obviously do you critique them?
Yeah, but we're not going to say like this
Yeah,
was
yeah.
garbage. Like
Yeah.
even if
You'll
it's
find something you
if
like.
it's like a mushroom flavored like lollipop, we're going to be like, well, it was musky.
You know,
You could talk about the texture.
But what was your favorite thing we've
it
eaten?
looked
the whole
like
season?
chocolate.
I like Craftsman and Wolves. I guess that's not what we. Oh, you know what? Squirrels. They have. It's like one of those toast places that are so hipster right now. Like they serve toast, and you're like, what? This is
Yeah.
Portlandia. But they have
Yes.
this. But it's so good. They have this huge slice of toast. They put ricotta cheese on it.
Same diff.
And then they put like their homemade jam on top of it. And you have
Okay.
to eat it with a
See?
fork and a knife, and it's one of the best things I've ever had.
Crazy.
It's amazing. That really is
Yeah,
fantastic.
and a big cup of coffee, and it's like perfect.
We had a really, really good galette in at Lafayette in
drooling
New
right now.
York.
That's the best. That's the best.
It was so good. So
You could pitch
But
a
they-
show where you could have this show.
You could have
But they
the show.
must do the research to know what is good. So you don't you probably will have something good. So you don't have to be.
Oh yeah,
Exactly, yeah. We
Every
don't just
place they
like
go
walk
to.
into a donut shop and be
Yeah.
like, cross your fingers. Like,
I'll do the sprinkled one.
Yeah, there's a couple. There's a vegan place every now and then when you're like, is this going to be good? But they
Yeah.
don't pick it because it's not good.
yeah. So they always pick things that are interesting. Usually places that are kind of new and that are doing something
Yeah.
unique.
Do you travel in California a lot?
We go all over the place. I mean, we've been
Guys.
to. I know
Guys,
it's crazy.
I'm pitching myself, so let's just
Seriously.
Please, I would love to be a
Yeah.
guest star.
Seriously,
Let's see.
we'll tell everyone.
You could have your own.
You could have your own dessert
travel food show.
No, because then because I have an issue with sugar. Like it's like I love it, but if I know it's structured where I'm like I'm going this and I'm doing this, but if it was a continual thing, forget it.
Oh,
I would
it's,
just
people
be-
think it's like it is. You have to learn how to taste and not eat.
And not
you
eat.
know?
See, that's where the challenge lies.
If you do have a show, can you call it Hell Yes?
Oh my god, I was trying to think of a pun and that was perfect.
Please.
Hell yes!
Hell yes.
Hell Yes.
The first
Who's you
season of
eating
Unique
stuff?
Sweets, I gained like 10 pounds because I didn't.
How do you not? I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds heaven.
Like you can see, like they'll show them on repeats, and it's like this episode Georgia looks chubby, and this episode Georgia learned how to eat better, like exercise.
We just eat a lot of salad. We eat
Yeah.
sweets all day and then salads for dinner.
Yeah, well,
just
you
'cause
gotta
your
get some
body
roughage.
needs
Yeah.
your body needs something that's not cake
And
flour.
are they is it we can move on, but is there something where when you walk into those places and they know what you're there for, it's kind of like it's a food critic really.
Yeah.
Do you know that they're treating you differently than they're treating somebody else? Do you know what I'm saying? So how do
Yeah.
you discern? Because that
Well,
must be annoying. Like, do you treat all your customers?
you can
like-
tell because you kind of get in there, and we also look like shit when we go in there, so
Yeah.
we don't look like we do on TV, so they might not recognize us, or they've never seen it. It could be like just some kid.
Oh, so you're
working
not
the
on
counter.
camera when you're going.
No, we just go in. We go into a studio and talk about everything we eat. So we travel around like breakneck speed, like
Got it.
24 hours in a city, taking
makeup.
notes, da 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 da. And
Yeah.
then we go, we
And
shower.
They fly there and they shoot it, but we're not there. When they
Yeah.
Got it.
So we shoot that separately, but
shower.
But the first season we did it, we hadn't been on yet, and so we'd go into the place and be like, "Hi, we're here to eat this big list of things," and
They'd
for
be like,
"Free, please."
go to hell.
And they'd be like, "Ugh." And then the second season, after they watched, then they would be nicer to us. But the first season, we felt like really demanding and weird, being like, "You need to
Yeah.
give us this list of 17,000 different donuts."
Yeah. And then like we just tip really
And
well.
you have to taste too. I would think you have to. You just taste. Because if
Yeah.
you had 17 donuts, like you'd make yourself sick.
Yeah.
We've done that.
Would-
You
but-
take one bite and you chew the bite and you eat it, and then you take the next one and you like slowly. Oh my god, listen to me.
You slowly
you take a bite and
Have
then
you ever
that
had
bit
to
all over.
spit it out?
No, I
Yeah.
mean, not
No.
when we're at the restaurants, but occasionally I've been in a hotel room and been like, I'm just gonna pop this right out of my mouth. We've both done that
yeah,
though.
that's true.
Oh,
Just 'cause
you
you
bring it
can't.
back with you.
Every once in a while we'll
Sometimes.
get
Yeah,
it to
yeah,
go, and sometimes you're just like,
Can't
I'm
do
just
it.
gonna. Sometimes I'll spit cup in a hotel, which is
Yeah.
hilarious to think of. When you think of us on the show, we're like, our makeup's done, we're wearing vintage dresses, we're talking about a donut, and if you could think of me in no makeup jet lag spitting it into a paper cup in a hotel, you would be like,
Well, didn't
wretched.
Sounds
Giada
amazing.
just get blasted for saying like sometimes I get sick of tasting like eating on camera, so there's a spit bucket, and everyone's like Giada's an anorexic and doesn't eat her
Oh my
food. And it's
God.
like, well, the
No.
17th time you're quote tasting it, you don't want to swallow
When
it.
you shoot a food show, when you're actually eating on camera, they'll get it from 3 different angles. So by the third time, they're like, you don't have to put that in your mouth. And you're like, thank you, even though it's very nice and expensive. But yeah, you should pitch a food show.
yeah, hell yeah.
So, okay, we've covered the one thing that you love is, should we end on his, actually?
One thing
yeah,
I hate.
let's-
You said one thing I hate.
Yeah, one thing you hate. We know what you
and on
hate.
one thing you love. What do you, Alie? What do you love?
Oh, what's the thing that I love? Okay, I have 2 things I love. One thing is the Lorquin Entomological Society. It's LA-based. They meet in the back of a bug warehouse in Compton on one
Really?
Friday night a month, and it's just a bunch of people that really like bugs, and they do slideshows about bugs, and they're very weird. And one guy,
And you've been.
I went last week, and it's
Wow.
really fun. And it's just a collection of people you would probably never ever meet. But like one guy's like, "Oh yeah, I do fly buzzing impersonations. This is a diptera." And you're like, "Well, this is insane."
So
And,
you're gonna date him now? is what you're saying.
he's already married and he's in his 50s. But the other thing that I love that's more relatable for other human beings is the hashtag pancake morning.
Oh,
Get into it.
that's a thing.
It's people who take like a pancake batter in essentially a squeeze bottle, and then they draw with it.
yes, and you let it cook for a second.
You let it cook for a second, and then you add more. So there's shading because some of the pancake is cooked more, and it's like super hyper realistic, like paintings of animals, but it's a fucking pancake.
Yeah, because when it cooks, there's the browning even creates shadows. Yeah, I think I've seen that.
Like there's a gorilla that looks incredible.
But pancake morning is a hashtag you can fall deep into and never want to get out.
That's my new YouTube.
I know.
Get into it.
I'm doing that.
Georgia, what do you love?
The thing I love so much is, and this is again, mine are so boring this week.
No, they're not.
Squid ink pasta.
Because by the way, you know what? One of the things that's going to stay with me is cold butter. So like, don't think that your words aren't powerful. They're powerful.
Okay, here's another one to get annoyed with.
Wait, what was the first thing you said? Sorry.
Squid ink pasta. But here's another thing to
Squid
get annoyed
and
at
pasta.
is when the server puts down your glass and by fingering the whole thing and holding it by the lip with all their fingers.
I don't really think about that.
But that's a hate, right?
That's a hate again. Now I'm going to go back to
Squid ink.
Squid ink pasta.
Yeah.
Oh, so you like squid and
Yes.
pasta? Got it. Okay.
Have you had it?
What do you like about it? I mean, I think I had it in like 1999.
Really? It was a thing then?
I think I had.
It could have been it. Yeah.
Or
Do
maybe
they
I had
infuse the
squid ink
squid? Like, is
risotto.
it-
Yeah. So it's a little bit fishy, and like with butter, and if you put it with butter and Parmesan cheese, and it's just a little, and you could put shrimp in it, and it's just
Do you make it at home?
yeah.
Where do you get
Oh,
it?
look at you.
You can buy it at there's an Italian deli by us that sells it dry.
And is it purple?
It's black. It's
Wow.
awesome. And the Italian restaurant down the street on Vermont also has a squid ink pasta dish that's so good. But it's just like it's just a perfect amount of fishy. And it's freaking squid ink. How cool is that?
So you don't even need a marinara. You just need butter and Parmesan.
Yeah, but a marinara is good too.
Not cold butter.
So I have two things that I love.
Okay.
One, I love when I'm traveling or something and I meet somebody like in a store or something like that who's in a job that maybe society thinks like, oh, they're at McDonald's or they're at a gas station. But I love when they have a fantastic attitude.
Oh.
When they're positive and it's like, you know what? Again, we're spinning on a planet. It's not worth. Just own it. Just like any of us, wherever we are, just it's all about just being kind and that. And I love when I meet somebody like that, and it's like, I love your attitude, and because the fact is, I've seen other jobs in this business where they have so much and they have awful attitudes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, that's not a way to live your life.
Is there someone in particular that you're thinking of that helped
Is it
you?
bad or good?
No, good.
Oh.
Like someone who had a great attitude and an experience you had in a store or something.
Oh,
There's a woman named Joyce at the Hollywood Post Office who is this kind of person, and she's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
That's so nice. What a good shout out.
She's dope.
Yes, there is, because I was I think I was driving somewhere. I was at a Wendy's or a Hardee's. Maybe it was a Wendy's. And I was going through the drive-thru and getting my food. And I just remember, it wasn't the fake positive, like, have a good day, but they're kind of a machine or whatever, like, but she was just really endearing and kind and like, hey, have a great day and da-da-da-da. And I actually remember leaving there and thinking, I wanted to tweet out as a thank you for being so kind at, whatever
Aw, that's
Hardee's.
so nice.
That's really sweet.
I
It's
love
sweet
it.
that can actually stay with you the same way that a bad experience can stay
yeah,
with you.
Totally.
You know what I
that's
mean?
true.
And my second thing I love is I adore my family. I adore my family. Love my family. Love my family.
You should keep them.
I should keep it. You guys should meet my daughter. She's a trip and a half.
I love kids under 10 are the most fun people that are just positive.
She just says the best. I don't know my phone, but she says, I've said this a lot, but if people have heard it before, but one of my favorite things two things that she's done. One is I remember saying to her, hey, babe, when you get a chance, you need to clean your room. And she said, yeah, I don't think I'm going to get a chance. And then the other thing is, another one that I remember is it was around Easter and she was much younger and she had just gotten this new stuffed bunny and she really enjoyed naming her stuffed animals. And she went upstairs and she was telling me who the names were. And she says, and this one, and we had just been to church and she said, I'm going to call this one Crucifixion. And we were like, great, love it.
Oh, you
And she
guys
was
are
like,
cool parents.
Crucifix for